Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Today is March 24th, and we are so grateful to be here as part of the Million Mom Movement with Dominique Jeffries. And today we're going to be covering some incredible topics, but what we want to focus on monthly with you all on the fourth Tuesday of every month is creating momentum with the Million Mom Movement and sharing success stories that inspire and tools that you can use in your business right away. So we just want to thank you so much for being here and welcome to the Million Mom Movement. Next slide, please. So today's power session is fresh inspiration, new tools to build towards your next goal. So our agenda is a success spotlight with Lenore Smith. So she'll be on shortly, and Dominique will be introducing her and highlighting her story and interviewing her. And then we're going to go into Amy and Dave's newest campaign, Glyphosate in the Park. We have some really great new materials for you to share on your social media. So we're really excited to share that with you. We're also going to be announcing some winners today. So stay tuned for that. We have our hashtag PHP Daily winners coming up, as well as our $250 Airbnb winner. So we'll be announcing that here today. And then, of course, we're always going to be reminding you of any promotions that we want you to take part in before they expire here as we close out this month strong. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to pass it over to Dominique. She's an incredible part of the Million Mom Movement, and she has been helping me and our community over the past year and has been part of Purium for coming up on 6 years next month. And she's a green diamond in our community. And I'm so grateful to have her here sharing her knowledge and always being able to interview different people and share with you all how she's built her business. And so Dominique, thank you so much for being here and being a part of the Million Mom Movement.
Yeah, thanks, Naiva. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see all of you. So excited to share. We have a lot to share, like Naiva covered for tonight's call. But I'm really, honestly, super excited to introduce our guest and highlight her and all of her success in her business. So I would love to introduce you all to Lenore. She's our guest today. I have watched Lenore over the years, just her journey on social media, really watched her grow into an incredible leader. And last month, I was so excited because I saw her on the leaderboard actually, it was the beginning of this month um, on the kickoff call. And I saw all the success and all the transformations that she created in her business last month. And I was really inspired by what she created. And I was like, Lenore, I would love to have you on as a guest to share your story, to share your process, and just, really walk us through what it took for you to, reach a new level. So she is an executive leader in our community. And I don't want to get too much into her story. I want her to share it, but just please give a warm welcome in the chat. I already see some people in the chat welcoming you, Lenore. But hi, Lenore. Thank you for being on. How are you? How are you doing today? Actually, let me.
Thank you so much. I'm doing fantastic, and I just want to say I appreciate so much being honored to share my story and to just share what has helped me to reach the goals that I set. And I'm just so grateful. So thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into all the things that you did last month. But first, before we get into that, let's start with your story, right? We all have our own stories here and what, really brought us to Purium, how we found Purium, or as some people like to say, how Purium found us. But yeah, walk us through your journey. How did you find Purium? And then what was your like initial response to the company, but also to really wanting to partner in business?
hmm So, yeah, I was introduced, as it says here, by Devon Buffy, a Zumba instructor. I was going to her Zumba classes. She was coming to me for massage, since I'm a massage therapist. And she was introduced, and she says, I think you would just like to hear about this. Just come and hear about it. And personally, I didn't think I needed it because I'm already going to the gym, I'm working out, I'm eating right. I'll share it with my clients. And then when I heard about the program, and at the same time, I was going through just a huge family upset, a divorce, and it was just so challenging. And that at the time was just affecting me emotionally, mentally, physically, and I thought, oh my goodness, how am I going to make it through this? And it just amazed me how incredible when I started the program. Um, like my sleep was just awful. My sleep, there was hair loss, there was high blood pressure. I mean, the list was just so big. And when I started the program, it was like in 4 days, I'm sleeping solid. And we know anything with sleep, that affects everything else in our system. If we're not getting sleep, everything else is affected. So I started the program, but I also did not have any income to actually buy this. And so I'm so grateful that Devon, she dignified me and she honored me. And she says, well, who do you know that would like to feel better? Who do you know who would like to join you on this journey? And I said, I got my sister, I got this one, I got that one. I had a whole list of people. And so that's what I did. So it was great that I was able to earn some income while still going through, everything I had gone through, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And so, yeah, I started the business before I even got my pack. I said, I know this is
Wow.
going to work, so I'm going to start sharing. And in those pictures
Wow.
there, of course, there's the example, like in the bottom left. That's me when my hair was falling out. And so I just went to the hairdresser and said, just cut it off because there were so many patches in my head from the stress. And, um, and then some months later, there's me. My hair has grown back. I'm using this nutrition. I'm sharing at different events. I'm sharing about the program. So just enjoy myself.
Yeah, wow. It's such a beautiful story. You're getting so much love in the chat. And I love that you said, you were going through a lot emotionally, right? You were a massage therapist. Were doing all the things to take care of your health, but when you are stressed emotionally, it affects your sleep. It does affect your health, even if you feel that everything is fine, right?
Mhm.
And you started this journey, but your mentor, whoever, introduced you to this was, like you said, I love that you used the word dignify. I said, who do you know that can do this with you? Right? You can go on this journey together to improve your health, improve your quality of life. And like immediately thought of your family. I was the same way. I immediately thought of my parents and was just like, you know what? Let's do this, together. And, using this income opportunity as a resource to help you maintain the lifestyle. And I think that that's what we all should be at least striving for our brand partners, our new brand partners that come in, right? I know Amy, our co-founder, if you're new here, Amy Venner, she always says that she wants to empower people with this business opportunity so that they can afford to eat organic food. And that's exactly what we're doing here, right? Obviously with Purium, right, is organic food, but this business allows you to cover your products. And then from there, you can scale it however big that you want it to be. But there's some people who just want to be able to cover their, monthly order. And, obviously you were able to do both. And I know you're going to continue to share all the people that, you've been able to impact. But that's such a great story. And I hope everyone that's listening reminds themselves of that too. Is like, who do I know that could also need extra income to cover their products every month, and let's walk them through how to do that. So let me go to the next slide. All right, so you were on the leaderboard last month along with a lot of other leaders in our community, rank advancing to executives, so congratulations. And then also leveraging the Transformation Now
Mhm.
promotion. And I just want to also give a major shout out to all the other leaders on the slide: Tammy Dunn, Danielle Clemens, Cindy Folson, and obviously Lenora, that's here to share her story, for all your success last month. So definitely put some love in the chat for all these ladies that are rocking their business, and yeah, like Sienna said, changing lives. So to achieve the rank of executive, you have to at least have at least four active enrolled customers or brand partners in your business. You have to at least order 50 points minimum of your own personal investment of your order. And then you also have to have at least a minimum of 6,000 in group volume points. And that's what Lenore was able to achieve in her business last month. On top of supporting and empowering 5 people with the transformation now. So Lenore, could you share just for those people who may be watching this for the first time or are new to our community or maybe just enrolled, what the transformation now is?
So the transformation now is where you purchase 3 of the ULTs, the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation boxes, and that's for your local people. So when they're ready to get started, you can bring the box to them. You get their picture with the box, and then you submit it into your back office for the 100 points. And and that's what I just kept thinking, who can I bring this to that's local? I don't want these boxes sitting in here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely want to get the food in the people's hands that are, like you said, that are local. So we're going
Exactly.
to share a little bit more about some of the people that you've been able to help, but I just wanted to clarify for those people who are new, exactly what that promotion is, which is really
Mhm.
powerful.
Yeah, and Dominique, can I say too that if
Yeah, go
for
ahead.
those of you who are going to do the transformation now, it's a very small investment in the business, but it's really going to propel your business if you have these. So just keep that in mind. You may look at the cost and say, I can't do it, but do it.
Good. Yeah, you did it. And that's exactly what, led you to the success. So um let's start with, your road to executive, because I remember you shared some nuggets with me. But
Mhm.
you started with your mindset. And I think that these 3 steps, mindset, strategy, and then systems are really what help us expand our impact here. So start with your mindset. I know you mentioned to me, you said you wanted to, you told yourself, let me give myself permission to succeed. Walk
Mhm.
us through like that mindset shift and how you came to that realization last month.
Yeah, that has stuck with me since I started the business. I remember one of the first trainings that I attended. Um, there was a brand partner that actually made this statement that that's what he did, Alex. And I thought, why have not, I not been doing this for myself? And so giving myself permission to succeed for me meant um, don't limit myself. And I think that's what I've done most of my life is just limit myself. I'll reach a certain point and then I'm like, no, I don't know if I don't want that responsibility or I don't know if they, so I just started second guessing myself. And I just had to say, no, just like everyone else, you deserve to be where you want to be and you can be where you want to be. And at that point, I was like, okay, let me just go full speed ahead. That road is all curvy, and it was some curves in there, but I was like, I'm going for it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I think some people in the chat can relate to that. I know I could too, as well as, just allowing ourselves to receive more and to
Mhm.
know, to trust ourselves that we can do it. And that's what also brings us to the strategy, because sometimes we can have a big goal that seems overwhelming or seems that, we can't reach it. But if we really just break it down to the goals, to, the points, which is what I want you to share with too, and then the systems, it makes it simple to follow, where that big goal isn't just kind of floating around in your mind. It actually brings it down into like reality, right? And it makes it simple for you to create that. And that's exactly what you did. So walk us through the strategies that you set for yourself once you
Okay.
decided, like, what, I'm going to give myself permission to succeed. Now what's the next step look like?
Yeah. And Dominique, I agree with you. It could be overwhelming when you think, oh, I need all these points, but yet I sat down and I said, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where I will be by the end of this month. And I said, how many points do I need? How many active enrollees do I need? I just wrote everything down so that I could visualize it. And so, yeah, I had to strategize. And every time, like I put in a carousel or I do my transformation now, I would just subtract those points. Okay, how many do I need now? How many do I need now?
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm still, reaching out for brand partners, but I still see in my head that at this point, with all that Amy and Dave were offering in the way of promotions, I'm like, this can be achieved with support from my team and just reaching out um, to everyone basically. And so, yeah, that's what I did. What do I need? How am I going to get there? I just kept deducting.
Yeah, yeah, the points that you can, really like hold on to them and
Mhm.
see what's possible when you kind of, like you said, you can subtract them. And I think you mentioned to me that was the first time where you really were like, let me kind of focus on the points and not let them overwhelm me, seeing that I have to hit this big number,
Mhm.
which is what, it seemed like to you. It's like, let me reverse engineer the points. And you said that was the first time that you had actually done that, right?
Yes, yes. I was overwhelmed with the back office whenever I would go in the back office. And then I'm like, I can't do this. But this time I just focused. I looked at my customers, whose order is going to process, who um, who hasn't ordered, for a
Hmm.
while, who is just in need of something to support their health. So the rewards points, whose rewards points are soon to expire. So there was just a lot. Um, but yeah, I learned the back office.
Yes, yes. And it can seem overwhelming at first, but once you start playing around with it, it becomes a lot of fun,
Yeah.
right? Like
Hmm.
you're like,
Hmm.
oh my God, it's like it honestly turns into, a game. And it's fun even more because obviously, we're really impacting people's lives and we're watching them
Hmm.
transform, but you're
Yeah.
also watching yourself transform,
Hmm.
where something that used to overwhelm you, now you're stepping into leadership and you're not allowing that to keep you from growing. So I'm so glad you said that. And like you mentioned, you leverage the promotions, obviously
Hmm.
all the social media promotions and things that Dave and
Hmm.
Amy gift us so that we can share with more people and grow our business. And like we mentioned earlier, Transformation Now was one of those promotions. I wanted to share some of the photos of the people that you've been able to impact. Because when you see the promotion and we know people, hit the leaderboard, but when you see the people and the faces and hear the stories behind, who they are, why they got started, how you've connected with them, that really just, um, feel it connects us to what it is that we're actually doing here. So share a
Hmm.
little bit of, I guess you could pick one of the ladies on this screen that you were able to support last month. We'd love to hear one of their stories, how you connected with them and what their intention was behind starting the ULT.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I'll go with Nina here in the center. She
Okay.
is 100 plus. And I met her and we're just talking, how we do. We just talk about how people are feeling. And she says, "What can you do for me? Do you have anything for my knees? My knees hurt so bad." And I said, "Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we do." So Nina wanted to order. I brought her a transformation box, but I only got her started on Biomedic and can't think of the other one, but there were two products that I got her started on because she's 101 almost. And there was only so much that she could consume. And so we got her started on that. Um, and then she ended up in rehab. So I said, well, I'm going to bring these items to rehab. And I brought them to her room. She willingly took them. And then the next day I go and it's gone. Well, the pharmacist had to okay it, and he did. I had brought my transformation book to the rehabilitation center. I told him, here, why don't you check it out, read the ingredients, see what it's all about? And he says, I was online looking up the aminos. So, I mean, I wanted to share this story because we don't want to underestimate how sometimes doctors and pharmacists can work very well with us. And we don't want to be hesitant to, share what we have to help others while they're in a situation where they really can't do for themselves. So, but lovely Nina, 100 plus.
Yeah. I love that. And there's a few things I want to highlight just about your leadership there. The first thing was that, you took into account her age, her lifestyle, and, really decided to support her and meet her where she was at, which was, just with biomedic and super aminos. And then, you were now brought to share this nutrition with her pharmacist to, her doctor essentially to help her make sure that it's in alignment with what she's going through in her life. And I love that you leverage the transformation book. That's something that we all get as, especially when you have new brand partners, that you can leverage. And I know I personally have leveraged it for events. we have them at the table and it's great for people to swipe through. But when I heard your story, I was so inspired and I was like, wow, I love that you dropped it off, with him. Obviously he looked through and did more information and looked online, but you can also, share that with someone, leave it at their home, come back, and then now you have a new conversation to expand on with what they liked about it, what else they kind of leverage and look through that maybe they wouldn't be able to look at just by, sitting with them one on one. So that was a great idea that you shared. And, I know that she's on her journey as well as, all the other people. So thank you. Yeah, for sharing that story.
Mhm.
And then another one of the promotions I wanted to mention too that I love that you leverage obviously was the social media, and also highlighting the discontinued products that we, ended with in last month. So I know that you said that, you were very adamant about following up with old customers, letting them know about it. And we found out about this towards the end of the month, which around, the end of the month, it's kind of like how we are now, is the perfect time to follow up, right? We all have heard that saying, the fortune is in the follow up. So it's a great time to go back to, old customers or maybe people you talked to earlier in the month about the business opportunity. They might not have been ready at the time, but it's a great time to check back in with them and then help them get started right away or set the, intention to support them next month. But we'd love for you to share how you leverage, reaching back to old customers, any stories from them, people that maybe got started again that you hadn't talked to in a while that just, really sparks new business, for you.
Mhm. Yeah, there were actually a number who they saw those products. I tried to contact everyone. I didn't get to everyone. However, I thought of those who were already using certain specific products that were going to be discontinued. And I was just, hey, these products are going to be discontinued. I know that you use them. I know it benefits you a lot. Um, what do you want me to do? And most of my customers, I manage their accounts. And so they just just order 10 of those things, you know. Um, yeah, they were. I was like, yeah. So, but it was so nice because it wasn't just about selling, it was about keeping them consuming the nutrition that they need to support their bodies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I
Absolutely.
think if we just keep that in mind, because we're here to help people to feel better. We're here to help them to, um, to really thrive as best as they can. And so it's not about, oh, I'm going to get this sale. And I have to say, Dominique, the entire time that I was doing this, I wasn't even thinking about the money I was going to make. But I was just thinking, I wanted to reach my goal of executive. And so, but I was just thinking points. I just want these points. I wasn't even thinking about the money.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was really nice because, and a lot of them even reached out to me. They're sending me messages. Oh, I saw your post. I want to get, 5 of these. Can you order this for me? So it was just really nice that um, social media, I mean, really did help out a lot too because people are looking, they're following, and I was doing stories and carousels and whatever I could do to get it out there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it did pay off.
Wonderful. Yeah, like you said, it's about helping people
Mhm.
and, having fun with this opportunity that we are blessed with to be able to empower other people.
Mhm.
And I know that you mentioned to me too that towards the last day of the month, it was one of the first times that you stayed up till midnight or whatever the time it was to watch, your back office and to, obviously follow up with people. Just tell us, how that felt for you and how much fun that was. Maybe not, maybe so much in the moment, but definitely looking back, I know it's probably fun. But yeah, tell us about that.
Exactly. So yeah, I have to be honest and say it was exhausting. It was exhilarating. Yeah, it was just so many emotions going around. But I have to shout out all of those on the team who was just there supporting me because I could have never have reached this without others being there and supporting me, staying up with me until midnight Eastern, you know. Um, I think Michelle Boersma, she's sending messages to Debbie about updating the back office because I'm like, Michelle, how many points do I have? I'm just trying to reach that goal. But it was all about the team. And I'm just so grateful because I would have never, ever reach this without that support. And that's one of the things that for all who are listening today, um, we can try and get places on our own, but it's not going to be fun. It's going to be exhausting. It's going to be frustrating. We may get there, but at the end of the day, we're, we're going to be so overwhelmed. And so I just say reach out to those who are there supporting you, those who are not just saying, bravo, keep up the good work, but they're supporting you, they're helping you to reach that goal. And so, yeah, I don't want to go through names. There were so many that did help me, and because I don't want to leave anybody out. but, but yeah, there was just
Yeah.
it was just wonderful. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I slept very well that night.
You poured an extra tablespoon of apothecary and
That's
sleep nightly at this time. Yeah.
so, but
So
yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yeah, because this is a community business, right? We are better together. And it's so much more fun when you do have people to, lean on, but also to do it with you and to grow together. And that's what separates our business model from a lot of other business models. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for being
Well,
on. And I wanted to close out really quick to remind everyone too. I don't know if you remember, but when I asked you to be a guest on the call tonight, you said to me, I didn't do anything special. Do you remember that? Yeah. Do
yeah,
you remember what I said to you after that?
I don't. I'm sorry.
No, 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 that's good. That's good. I'm glad. I said that, pretty much of everything that you had shared with me was what we kind of just went over on this call, right? You leveraged the promotions, you set an intention, you changed your mindset. And I told you that what you did was you followed these simple, duplicatable steps. And that is what is special,
Mhm.
right? Because success in this business is not about one person doing some random crazy thing that just brought them so much success. It's really about us coming together and doing the simple duplicatable steps. And everything that you shared today, there's a little bit more, of the nuances that you incorporated as far as, making your list and following out to so many people, checking in with so many people a day. But at the end of the day, we're better together because we're all collectively doing the same thing. And that's what makes our business so special is because we can teach someone else what we did and then they can grow and teach someone else too. So that's why I was really excited to, have you come on and share your story because it is about just duplicating what we are doing. And, you were such a great example of that last month and continue to be, now. And I hope that everyone on this call takes that away from, this, your success is that it's just about the duplication, the simple steps. And that really is what makes it special.
Well, thank you. I appreciate being on the call tonight and am grateful for the entire community. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Drop some love in the chat for Lenore and even, any takeaways from her story that, maybe have inspired you to implement in as we close out the month of March. There's a lot of promotions which we're going to get to, and we have some tools as well that you can leverage. But yeah, just go ahead and drop her some love in the chat. And next, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Amelia. Actually, she's on with us tonight, and she has some really, really cool marketing tools that we can leverage that Dave and Amy have, helped us put together to expand our impact here with the Million Mile Movement with Purium. So, Amelia, I'll go ahead and pass it to you. Oh, I have to ask you to unmute. Sorry. You should be able to unmute now.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you're muted. Okay. Thank you
Yes,
so
we can hear
much.
you. You're good.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up because that was just a really incredible story. Lenora, thank you so much for sharing and sharing all that vulnerability too that went into your story and when you started. Hair loss as a woman is a real thing and problem. And the fact that you were able to like start sharing immediately even before you got the product. Amy is such a proponent of that. And I love that you experienced such success from it. And Dominique, thank you for guiding us through Lenore's story so eloquently. Both you and Lenore have incredible examples of leadership, and I just want to highlight that because I think sometimes we think of leaders as like being bossy or having all the information, or not necessarily. I don't know. Like there's sometimes we think of it in this very like sort of box way. But what shows up for me with you and Lenore both as leaders is how well you just like taught us through such a cool story. And I think that's what's like really powerful about both of you and your businesses is you teach without even knowing you're teaching, and you share without even know you're sharing necessarily, or maybe you do, but it's just so natural and organic, and it's really inspiring and incredible to witness. So thank you both for that. And now I guess I'll put my teaching hat on so I can share Amy and Dave's latest really big like problem solution storyline. Amy and I were talking just today about how these campaigns that we've begun to really just put out regularly are really like just a part of Purium's story. They are storylines. They are just another storyline. It's a problem solution storyline. And so this one is glyphosate in our parks. I mean, how many people live near a community park? How many moms, pregnant women, families are doing their daily walks, yoga, or doing a mommy and me meetup, or having a picnic? I mean, these are frequently traveled places on a daily basis, and they are, it's riddled with glyphosate. And so we put together a this is the goal. Basically, Amy and Dave really want everyone, and they're challenging everyone to just start these meaningful glyphosate conversations. And we're going to start dripping out a few different types of storylines regarding glyphosate. And this one obviously is community parks, but educate those who are interested in hearing about the value of the solution. Every Crown leader will tell you if someone isn't interested, it's just a no for now, and come back maybe with a new storyline, a new Purium story or angle for them, because Purium really has something for everyone. So this this is a reel that you're watching that is now in the DMK. The park looks safe, but what's on the grass? And then Dominique, if you don't mind switching the slide to the next one. Please, thank you so much. And now there's also a carousel with very much similar information. And then what's really cool too is there's this flyer that because I think a lot of times we have these tools that create the conversation, but then what's that next step? Sometimes it really isn't just here's my gift code, here's the product, or sign up for a ULT, here's the gift code. I mean, that is obviously best case scenario, but sometimes a little bit more information is needed. And so this flyer is a great sort of space to be like, hey, like this is a little bit more about it. Oh my gosh, thank you, Sienna, for that. This is a little bit more about it. And this is a product and there's recipes attached to it. Like you don't have to just drink a shake. You don't have to just take these pills. There's delicious protein balls that you can make or boost up your shake. And then obviously reviews of people that have had great success with that. So Amy and Dave really want you to help them spread this mission. Because even though we're not doing a watch party, there are still so many ways to keep this conversation alive. And this is just one example of that. So if you can DM 10 new people, they say a day, or maybe it's a week for you, like this is your business. You create the goal for yourself. Maybe it's a month. Parents, moms, health conscious contacts, share the awareness reel and carousel, follow up with this new Epigenius solution flyer, and reach out to these past customers of yours and create the effect with your team, because your team also, a lot of people are working full-time jobs. Not everybody knows about this stuff. And what's really amazing, Dominique, if you please advance to the next slide, thank you, is that it's all laid out right here. So educate yourself with the brief. Amy really wants everyone to know that these briefs are just for brand partners. These are not marketing tools. So that brief is for you and your eyes, your team's eyes, to really arm yourself with information and education. It's for you to be able to text info to people or have that fact or inspire you, and then educate others with that communication plan. And there's that Google Sheet will have, or that PDF has links to all the different assets. It even has messaging for each sort of person, whether it's a new person or an old prospect or your team. We have like an email copy and paste that you can just send out, or a text that you send out to your team like, hey, guess what? This is coming from Amy and Dave. I'm sending out the echo effect. So they are extremely passionate, as are we, about sharing this and getting everyone excited. So we also, I do want to share, and thank you, Sienna, for putting that into the chat. There is a quick way to get all of these little storylines from the DMK. And so if you just click on the Purium story, the problem solution folder will lead you to the metabolic reset, the glyphosate in the park, and all the ones that we'll continue to put out. And I know I'm going super fast, but I feel like I'm delivering the most boring part of this because Lenore's story was so amazing. And there are winners, so I want everybody to stay on for these winners. But more importantly, do you have a glyphosate story? Because we want to hear from you and we want to hear it. Maybe it's a video. Maybe you want to like make a little video of it. Maybe you want to just put it in writing because you're not feeling very creative. Maybe you already have like an image that has your story, but we really want to hear these stories. And don't forget to add a review to Epigenius Family's product page and Biomedics by two biomedic product pages. So I appreciate you all, and I'm so excited to be creating these problem solution campaigns for you. And so I really am excited to lock arms with you in this mission. And it was great for seeing you all, Dominique, Naiva, Lenore. Thanks for letting me be a part of your Zoom. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their week.
Thank you so much, Amelia. All right, Dominique, can we see the next slide? So let's announce the winners. We have 500 points each for our hashtag PHP daily winners. So congratulations to Anne Christopher, Leanne Elkebi, Mary Beth Fleming, Autumn Gracia, Tammy Huppel, Era Inglacia, Tara Cohn, Marshy Morantz, Marty Robinson, and Nancy Merrill. Congratulations, 500 points each for the hashtag winners for this month. And we also have a $250 Airbnb winner. So congratulations goes to Christina Carlisle. Congratulations for being the Airbnb winner for this month. And we have our newest product, the Alpha Omega. So every Wednesday, we have our Products and Passion with Dave and Health Spotlight. So please join us tomorrow for a highlight about Alpha Omega. He's going to dive deep into all the benefits and how it can really help benefit your health, how it can really help people with their heart health, their immune health, with all aspects. So this is going to be super exciting. please invite your guest. The Wednesday calls are a great place to invite your customers to come learn more about our newest products. And you can go ahead and so please hurry up and participate in these promotions if you haven't yet. These are ending soon. As we know, we're coming up to the closeout end of the month. And so luckily we have all the way till the 31st this month. You must have your Dreams Technology subscription plus 50 BV order in place. But you can go ahead and host an event if you haven't yet. 50 GQV per table or event in your home. You submit it, you have up to 4 times in March for 200 total GQV, 50 per event or table. And then we have our carousel contest for the PHP opportunity, and PHP before and after is still going. So you can earn 50 GQV per submission as well, and the maximum of 200. That's 4 submissions in a month. So up to 4 events in a month, up to 4 carousels in a month. That's a lot of business promotional volume that Dave and Amy are giving you just for doing things that are going to impact your business and help you move forward. And so we just want to thank you all for being an incredible part of our Purium community and the Million Mom movement, movement of many. If you want to follow our pages, like, follow, and share. We do have a Facebook page, Million Mom Movement, as well as a community group on Facebook, Million Mom Movement Official. Within that group, you can actually find a lot of these resources and tools. We encourage you to share your story or other inspiring things with our community. So please be active in that Facebook group if you see fit, if you see things that could inspire our community. And follow us on Instagram. You can tag us, use our hashtags. We would love to highlight you there. And so make sure and tag us as often as you can in your stories and posts so that we can feature you. And last but not least, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have over 300 replays of so many different topics that we've covered over the past 6 years through our weekly calls that we had been having. So we're so grateful to have you all here. Thank you so much and have a beautiful rest of your week.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.